As we finish up this morning, I have some announcements for us. It's going to be a minute, so buckle up as we talk through. As Spencer said, I get the opportunity to talk with us about our Give project. So if you're new here and you don't know what we're talking about, each year, part of our Give series is that we select a project, an organization or ministry or a missions organization to dedicate our energy to raise funds to support. That it's one of the ways that we get to practically live out what it looks like to be generous, to give of what we have for the sake of somebody else, not for our own benefit. And normally we pick one big project that we tackle a bunch, but this year we've had several organizations that we have been raising funds for, so I want to quickly recap what we've been able to do thus far, and then we'll talk about this week what the plan is. So on week 1 of our Give project, we announced that we were going to be raising funds for the local Casey Police Department to specifically help raise funds for their program called Shop with a Cop, which is a program where they get to work with local underserved kids in the Casey community, and then local police officers go with them to the store like Walmart or something, and they get to purchase gifts with the kids that they get to go home with and they get to share with their family. So thank you all who gave to that project. We knocked that one out of the park on day 1, so thank you very much. Last week, week 2, we announced our second project that we were going to be supporting a local nonprofit called Providence Home. And that organization, they specifically work to provide transitional housing for men who are coming from difficult places, and they help them transform their lives through the gospel of Jesus. And we announced that our goal was to raise $10,000 over the course of the last week to help them replace their dining and kitchen floor because they serve 3 meals a day, 365 days out of the year to men who are in need. And I am happy to announce that as of midnight last night, we raised a total for Providence Home $12,226. Absolutely, that is awesome. Thank you to everyone who gave towards that. That means that this week we get to write a check for the $10,000 that we were aiming for to give to them and their work of serving men that are in need. And then that means that we also have a head start on this week of the $2,226 for our third and final project. So, as we were talking about what this Give series was going to look like and the different projects we wanted to tackle, and after we decided that we were going to work with Providence Home, who works specifically with men, we reached out to Oliver Gospel Mission and asked them about their ministry at Toby's Place, which is their specific women's shelter. And that shelter was constructed in the last 5 years, and it quickly came to light that really they didn't have much need at their women's shelter because it's a brand new facility. But in talking with their facilities manager, we quickly learned that they do have a great need, Oliver Gospel Mission does, at their downtown men's shelter. So before I dive into the details of what they need and how we're going to help them out, I want to quickly kind of give you an overview of what Oliver Gospel Mission does if you are not familiar. So Oliver Gospel is a community-based mission that has sheltered and served the poor in the Columbia area for over 135 years. They help those who are experiencing homelessness, poverty, and addiction transform their lives through physical, spiritual, and relational support so that they can lead full and healthy lives in our community. Through their men's center and through Toby's Place, they provide holistic rehabilitation, transitional housing, and career development. And their aim is always that there would be long-term growth, that it wouldn't just be a thing, a handout that they give to people, but they are in the business of using the gospel of Jesus to help transform lives in the long run. At their men's facility specifically, they have 3 main programs. So that building right there is the downtown men's facility. And Sloan's going to kind of go through some pictures. You can see some of the ways that their ministry works. But at their downtown facility, they have 3 main programs: Refresh, Rebuild, and recovery. So Refresh is a 30-day program where each guest receives breakfast and dinner, a hot shower, a clean bed, storage for their belongings, and they get spiritual enrichment through a nightly chapel that they have. In their Rebuild program, they equip employed men who are experiencing homelessness by offering life skill classes, fitness classes, and they also have a faith-based curriculum that's a part of that program as well. And then finally, their recovery program is their most intense program, and it is for men who are battling substance addiction and homelessness. And so those men will stay at the downtown facilities for several months as they work through this program. And just like all the other ones, the gospel of Jesus is at the root of this program as well, of helping these men overcome the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual traumas that perpetuate their addiction and their circumstances. And just like with all the other parts of their ministry, they want to see long-term change. They aren't just interested in helping these men and then sending them out. They want them to be involved in a local church. They want them to be involved in a local community. They want to send them out in a home, and they want to send them out with a job. So we are happy to partner with Oliver Gospel Mission and the work that they have been doing in this area for a long time. So now, specifically, how are we helping? I'm sure that for those of you that are from this area, you've probably driven past the historic building that Oliver Gospel Mission is stationed in on the corner of Taylor and Assembly. And as we were talking to them about what their need is, it came to light that the last time their roof was replaced on that building was 1988, which, if you're doing quick math, is 35 years ago. And you can see in this kind of flyover, you can see some of the damage, and there's also going to be some still images of the inside of the building as how the need for repair is causing damage on the inside. And that third floor of the building, if you were looking, that's actually where their recovery program takes place. So the men who are staying there for like 6 to 9 months at a time are staying right under that roof that is leaking over their heads. So this is the need. Now, in communicating with them, they went out and they got some roofing contractors to give them some bids on what these jobs would look like. And they, for repairing the roof, so not doing a replacement, but just going in and repairing the most worst places, it would cost $10,980. And they would expect that to last them maybe about 7 or 8 years before they would have to do more work. Alternatively, they could replace the whole roof, and that would cost $42,830. And that would come with the warranties for material and labor and things like that, which is typically around 20 years for materials and a couple years for labor. So by ourselves, historically looking at what we've been able to raise with Give Projects, we believe that we could easily hit that the repair number of $10,980. But we want to allow Oliver Gospel Mission to best utilize the funds that we raise for them for their need. So we don't want to just go do like a quick patch job for them so that we can pat ourselves on the back. That's not generosity. Generosity isn't patting ourselves on the back. It's giving to those who are in need at the cost of ourselves. So here's the plan. We are going to be a Kickstarter for an Oliver Gospel Mission campaign to replace their roof. Now, we're not expecting to be able to raise the over $40,000 left for this Give project. If we did, we're going to hoop and holler. We're going to dance, man. But what we do believe is that we can put a serious dent on that number. And what Oliver Gospel Mission believes is that they can take our generosity and use it to spur on the generosity of other local churches and other donors that are connected to their ministry, so that we get to be a catalyst for others to be generous as well in the Columbia area. And so that in the coming months, they're going to be raising funds to meet this total number, so that hopefully sometime next year, they will be able to replace their roof so that they can continue to do the work of displaying the kingdom of God, of helping those who are in need, of giving of what they have so that others might benefit. So that's what our Phase 3 project is. If you have any questions about it, I'd love to talk to you about it after this. If you are interested in giving, here's what this is going to look like. In the past, we've had a cap for the last Phase 1 and Phase 2. We don't need to put a cap. We're just raising funds. So from today until December 31st, all money that is given towards the Give Project is going to be written in a check and given to Oliver Gospel come January once we know what that final number is. If you would like to give, you can do so online. You can go to our Give page and make sure you select the drop down for Give Project so that it actually goes toward that. If you would like to give cash or check, you can, on the tables that are in front of our Give slots over here, we have some envelopes with the Give logo. Make sure you put it in there so that we know it's dedicated towards the Give Project. Now, with that said about the final number, historically, we have raised about 20 to 25K in our Give projects. So what we would like to push ourselves to and use as a target goal to spur us on to generosity is we think we can hit another $10,000 in this Give series. So in the next coming weeks, let's push for that so that come January, we can write somewhere in the $10,000 to $12,000 check range to be able to support Oliver Gospel Mission and the work that they are doing. And as I said, if you have any questions, you can come talk to me. You can come talk to one of our pastors about Give and how we handle all of that. Okay.